the next area here is having an agreement as to what's going to happen in coaching, both over the course of multiple interactions and within a given interaction. Not to go into a whole lot of detail on the coaching agreement, as it's called, but you sort of pointed out earlier some of the things when you were talking about, am I offering therapy or consulting, or what is it I'm offering? So having an agreement as to what are you looking for, what do I offer, how are we going to go about this? That's a really important thing. And sometimes you get thrust into environments where you're not going to be able to put together a two-page document or have somebody sign it, but you still have to go through the effort of thinking, what are they expecting? Asking, what are you expecting? And explaining, here's what I can do, and coming to agreement on how this is going to work. Sometimes just like right in the moment.
I think you're bringing up a good point in terms of explicit permission for coaching, because a lot of times the coachee or the client may show up for the coaching sessions because they were asked to go.
Yeah. Or told.
Told, right? Yeah.
You make
Oh, right,
ask sound like there's an option.
right, right.
Sometimes it's, ask really means told.
Right. Yeah, they were told to go, and you ask them like, what brings you to coaching? And sometimes they're like, okay, my manager told me this is
Yeah.
I need to do this.
Nothing
I need to
nothing
do
brought me, something pushed me.
something push me. It's still a coaching agreement still needed, and to obviously having the client being willing to show up to coaching, that's ideal, and that's always a good starting point. But let's say they're part of this coaching and they showed up just being curious about what this coaching is and didn't know what to expect. A coaching agreement set the stage for this coaching relationship to flourish and continue.
Well, the other thing is that we might not be able to get a full agreement, but we could start somewhere, and whatever, as we explain it, people say, oh, that sounds useful, and we can expand from there. We could have some sort of starting point. And then in each interaction that's official, a coaching session, somebody's looking for coaching or we've offered coaching and they've accepted, it's good to have an agreement about what's going to happen within that session. That's a deep topic. There's a lot to say there, but I think just the basics are in the invite. You said you want to talk about this. I just want to see if that's still what you want to talk about. What makes that important for the person? We might assume what makes it important, but what makes it important for them? And then, there's a lot more details when it comes to professional coaching, but at the high level, it's those things and staying on topic. They chose the topic, and we might think, oh, that reminds me of this other thing I wanted to bring to their attention. But if that's not what they said they wanted to talk about, then we don't have an agreement there. Just staying on topic. It's a lot like the facilitation thing of, interesting. Is that on topic for our agenda today, or does that go to the parking lot?
Sort of like checking in as you go during the session and also the agreement overall for the whole coaching engagement. So it's different types of agreements